I'm a guy that's 25. Lego Star Wars is my life. I like Ryan Johnson. I'm Rich Boy J. Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here, back again with another video, and this is going to be update number 57 of the Starkiller base mock build series. Before we get into the video, I just want to give a very special thanks to those of you who contributed via super chat or a Streamlabs donation to the live streams. I sincerely appreciate it each and every time you guys do that. It is so awesome. So this week's donors are Brickfreak, TheBrickGuild, LEGGO MYke, Brix Films, Bounterhunterbricks, Lamborghini Waffle Sauce, Xavier Sorrent, Sam Brix, Stormie, UCS Productions, Alex H, Republic Builds, and Ethan Blissett. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. If you guys are not tuning into the stream, I certainly urge you to do so. It is a great way for you to not only see the build early, but to also hang around with some boyos, talk Star Wars. What more could you want than that? This week, I mean, these past few weeks have been some pretty eventful ones. I know I'm late on this update. I have no excuse for it other than life just pretty much got in the way. I've been super busy with various things in my life, but I made it a point to get this update out today, and I will do so. So basically, you can see behind me, we got a bunch of progress done. My main goal was to finish off those generators I've been working on, finish off the snow hill that I've been working on, and also build up a significant portion of the little side section of this wall, the one that the elevator is going to be built into. So this week will chronicle what I've done in that regard. So without further ado, guys, let's jump right into it. All right, I got a bunch of things to catch you up on since the last time you've seen Starkiller. One thing I want to initially point out is the fact that, yes, everything is finally lined up. This is the first time I've seen all of this lined up, as it will be once the mock is fully completed, which is awesome. I basically cleared off everything on the front of this table, and yeah, this table is actually long enough to accommodate all of this. So first things first, we have the generators right here, and they are finally complete. All of the details have been added to them. I got all the orders I needed to complete them, and they're looking pretty good, if I might say so myself. There's some pretty nice details in them. I still really love these two quarter circles, quarter cylinders, I guess, that kind of slope down across the front of them. I think those look pretty nice. So that's going to work for me. There's also some random snow detailing across all of them just to make it look a little bit dynamic. And speaking of snow detailing, the next thing I wanted to talk about were the fronts of these buildings. As you can tell, there is not a ton of snow detailing, and it's something that I meant to do, but I think I built most of these on streams and just kind of forgot about it. There's a little bit of detail on the front window on this section right here, as well as over there, and it's pretty much absent across the fronts of all of these. So I'm actually going to spend a bit of time adding detail to it. Not sure I'll get to it during this update, but just want to let you guys know it is something that I am considering. The other thing that really took up the bulk of my time for this week's update are these sloping sections right here, the ones behind these generators. Getting the nets properly cut, properly oriented was such a task. It was such an ordeal. It took me so much longer than I thought it would. But as you can see, the snow finally fully slopes all across the front of this section right here. And I think it looks pretty awesome. The net technique was absolutely the way to go in getting that slope to look nice and organic and natural. And you even have small little snow hill right there. That all looks really good. Furthermore, I did also continue the little snow technique where it's so bright, it's honestly kind of hard to see. But basically where I'm not compressing all of the tiles fully on the base plate. Some of them are basically angled to give the idea of just little small snow hills. That's a technique that I got from Brick Plumber, and I'm using in this build, and it looks really good. It really just helps give the snow a more organic feel and not a perfectly flat Lego look. Like, it wouldn't have really made sense to go all out on the nets for the sections up here, but then down here not also do something to make the snow look nice and organic. So that is an absolute win in my opinion. So the final thing that I've been working on this week is this building right here. The final thing that I've been working on this week is this building right here, and I'm quite happy with it. The front, you can see there's a nice little door right there, and the idea is this is actually going to be the entrance that our heroes take to get in to Starkiller base. As you can see in front of this door, there are some footprints. I left those there because basically this cannon of the MOC as the heroes were approaching from this side of the build. They go through this door, they make their way through whatever the heck would be in there, and then they get into the elevator, which is going to be in that slot right there. As you can see, I did add a little bit of basically just some walls right there, and these rails, that's what the elevator is going to be using to slide up and down, and there's an opening on the side so you can see into the elevator, and then once this section is fully done, it'll be elevated. It'll be about a foot or so off the table, and there's going to be a motor basically right here connecting to the elevator, and the elevator is going to drop down into the MOC, and then it'll basically take the heroes to the iconic hallway section, which is not in this room anymore. Otherwise I'd show you exactly where they'd come out, but I have mentioned it before. It's just that main hallway section where like the Bombat General Jar Jar was in there. But this is actually all looking very good. Got some nice sloping for the walls. This isn't actually a building you see in Starkiller. This was really just something kind of out of my own imagination. I decided to go with this semi-octagonal shape on the outside here because this is what you see on that front building, kind of where the main stage area is. So I felt this was somewhat consistent with the architecture that you'd see here on Starkiller base. So that works out pretty well. And as you'll notice here, I did actually continue with the snow detailing on the walls. So that is something that I'm at least cognizant of for this section of the MOC. I definitely don't want to have to be tearing this down, trying to add more detail to it. So this is what we have so far with Starkiller. This has been such a long process getting this entire section to come together. But basically my goal for the rest of this episode is going to be to get this building somewhat leveled off to where the rest of the buildings are. I'm thinking if I can make it up to like right here, that would be good. I'm thinking above that, I'll probably have some windows kind of come across similarly to how they're coming across here. But yeah, that's going to be my goal, to get this building to be tall. Hoping I have enough gray bricks for it. My gray brick collection has seriously dwindled since the start of this MOC. I've gotten more, it dwindled, I've gotten more, it dwindled. But I'm hoping I have enough to at least get a substantial amount of this wall built up, and we'll see how that goes. So let's go ahead and work on that. Woo! All right. Finally, this building is as tall as everything else here. Just look at the scale of this, man. Like, this MOC is going to be ridiculous. As you can see here, this is what I've been working on. Took a bit of time, quite a bit of time. My poor dark gray parts collection. This bin right here was basically probably about halfway full when I started this, and now I'm basically working on the final layer there. The fortunate thing is I'm not going to need a bunch of dark gray bricks for a little bit until I get to that oscillator building. It will be a problem then, and I will have to either go pick a bricking or brick linking to get a lot more, because that building is massive. But for the most part, I won't need too many more gray bricks to basically finish off the top section of these buildings. I think that's pretty much where the top level is going to be, and that's what, maybe 3 or 4 more bricks higher than all of these sections are, and then I won't need any for a while. So that is at least a promising part of this. You can see that I continued the windows along the side here, which looks pretty cool, and then there's even a window on that side. If you're wondering what this big ugly conglomeration of colorful parts there is, basically my idea was maybe I want to add a little bit of color to this section, and what I came up with doing was I'm going to basically put another like red flag right here. It'll probably hang maybe to about this area on this building, but I basically just wanted to, I don't know, like this whole section is just mostly gray and white. I wanted to give it a splash of color, and I figured why not do like a first order big red flag and maybe get another sticker for the first order logo that'll basically sit right on there. So that's not something I'm planning on doing anytime soon. It'll look like this for quite some time, but that's not really going to bother me. My main concern with working on this section was getting the building to be tall. The last thing I want to show you guys is the elevator that sits in there. I want to show you basically what it looks like in that building to the far right. But before I did that, I wanted to give you a look at what all these sections that we've been working on so far all look together. I know you guys have really expressed your feelings for wanting to see the entire MOC together, and fortunately that's really just not an option right now. That's something that's going to have to be saved until the very end of the MOC. Trust me, I want to see it all together as much as you do, but until then, this is at least, you know, a good look at what this giant section right here is going to look like, and I'm pretty impressed. I think this is so exciting, so cool to see a whole side of the MOC really coming together, especially with that building being so tall now. So now that you got a good look at this, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put the elevator, which is sitting right there, into that building, and it will give you a final look at what it's going to look like in there. And here's a look at our elevator section. So basically, when you're viewing it from the side, this is what it will look like. This is actually the first time I'm seeing this in here, and I just realized that the LEDs are really sticking out on the top there. I'm going to have to cover those. That shouldn't be a huge problem, but I literally did not consider that until just now. But yeah, otherwise it looks pretty good. You get a pretty good view into the elevator section. So it'll basically sit here. You'll flip some sort of switch or press a button. I don't know. Now that I think about that, I should probably fit something into this wall to either... I gotta figure out what I want to do, honestly. I don't know if I want to have it like programmed into my phone, like that is an option, or I might want to just make it a manual switch. Either way, that's something I can figure out. That's not a huge deal. And you'll be able to make the elevator go up and down. Seeing this from the side, I don't know, there's just something super cool about this elevator with the lights in it. Unfortunately, you won't get this angle from this side. From anywhere up on this level. It'll have to drop down into the lower level, and then you'll be able to kind of see into the elevator from this angle through the main hallway. But otherwise, everything is looking very good here. I can't wait for, I don't know, this section to get to a point where I can actually start elevating this, because at this point it's just a stationary elevator. It's not even an elevator, it's basically just a room that kind of sits here. But once we move forward in the MOC, once we get to a position where this is sitting, you know, a foot off the ground, I've built up a section under this, we'll have an actual functioning elevator, and I think that'll be pretty cool, especially with the lights. So that is basically all we have for Starkiller this week. I think it was a pretty eventful episode. We got, obviously, this huge building, not done, but pretty much it leveled off with everything else here, which was super important. Got everything down here completed, which was also super important. The next episode, we're just going to basically build on top of this, probably even start the rock work that should be on top of these buildings, which is, I'm kind of dreading because, I mean, rock work, but it will basically be the final thing we need to complete the top half of these sections, and then we're going to basically start expanding the snow out this way. So thanks for tuning in. Let's go ahead and go to the end of the video. And that's going to finish up the video today, guys. Thanks for checking out Starkiller once more. I think it is so awesome to finally see all of these wall sections coming together. This is one of those MOCs where, yeah, you don't have the luxury of being able to see everything together all the time. So when you do have those moments when you can at least see some parts of things together, it really does feel special. And it really encourages me to keep working as hard as I am on this build to make it happen. So moving forward, I mean, since we're pretty much at the same level going across the board, I'm going to be building some platforms on top of these walls. Right here, you can kind of tell. And the rock work is going to commence on top of this. This will be quite a process because it's a lot of rock work, but I'm going to try to get through it as fast as possible, similarly to how I got done with the rock work under that section of the build. You guys can't even see that. Why am I pointing at that? You guys can't see that. So that's going to be what we're working on between now and the next update. This is hopefully going to be a week where I can get a significant amount of progress done, just because it's kind of a holiday week. I'm not going to be working on Thanksgiving, so I'll be eating food, watching football, and might even work on Starkiller a little bit. But that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what I do, go ahead, support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.